Okay, well, we're out reloading. Every year before we start shooting, we tend to load about 200 to 300 rounds of 204 and about the same of 223 and slightly less 17 Hornet. So I thought I might show you the gear we've got and also just the final process of reloading, which is pretty much putting the powder in the case and putting the projectile in. I've already got a stack of unprimed cases. As you can see, we've already taken the primers out and cleaned the cases up. These are the cases we've been using for the past few years, probably had about 3 or 4 reloads each case. And I've got my offsider here putting the primers in right now. There we go. Simple task with one of these. That's a primer tool, an RCBS primer tool. I've got the RCBS press, I've got the big puppy dog over there, and got a Redding die. I like Redding dies, they're very good. I like RCBS stuff, but also Redding dies are great. In terms of gear, this thing is invaluable. This is a Hornady electronic measuring device, powder measurer. I haven't calibrated it yet, I'll do that in a minute. And I'll set that to 29 grains of powder, and that will measure out exactly 29 grains, and I check. What I'll do is I'll check each quality control, each 5 or so, each powder charge to start with, using the hand scale, the manual scale. And if I'm happy with the weight accuracy from the electric machine, what I'll do is I'll then reduce to 1 every 5 rounds loaded, a quality control check. And then if I'm happy, what I'll do is I'll go out to 10. So you can really punch through a lot of rounds really quickly with one of these devices. I can remember for years I basically hand measured using one of these scales, and it was tedious. It was really a pain in the butt. So this thing has changed my life. So if you haven't got one, these are great. And this is not an expensive one. You can get RCBS and other brands that are more expensive, even Hornady that's a bit more expensive. But this thing is a godsend. I love it. Now the gear we're using in terms of the reloading components, this stuff is great for the 204. It's benchmark 8208, sold in America I think as IMR 8208. Not sure about that one, but it's a Hodgdon powder in America, and in Australia it's an ADI powder. It's the same powder, but that powder works really well in the 204. In most of your small cartridges it works fairly well. It meters very well through the electronic measurer as well. I've got my hands on a few of these, which are the CCI small rifle primers. Very good primers. I used to use and I still have got a lot of Federal 205Ms, the Magnum primers, small rifle Magnum. They are really great. They are my favourite, but these are second. And I've got some Remingtons as well. We've been through a primer shortage in Australia, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I had 800. I've got about 500 left, but the Federal 205s, and I've been able to supplement those with CCI and also Remington, and I've got a couple of other brands there. But I've got enough. I've probably got 1,000 small rifle primers, so we're safe until we get some primers back from the States. Projectiles. I use either the Barnes varmint grenade 26 grain projectiles. They are actually, as they're described there, they are a varmint grenade. They explode. You get some runoffs with these, but you also get some pretty quick kills as well. So they're not as great as what I thought they might be at longer ranges, but they're still pretty good. And I use those early in the season for shorter range foxes out to about 250. My go-tos though are the VMax 32 grains. They are great projectiles. I know some of you will, for the 204, will use the 39 grain Sierras, and actually I do have some 32 grain Sierras as well that I often use as well. But mostly the VMaxes. They're very dependable, very accurate, and really good at long range. I know, as I said before, I know some of you will use the 39 grains Sierras and the 40 grain VMaxes, and I just haven't got into them. I don't know how well they'd shoot with my rifle. I've got to work up loads. I've worked up a load with the 32 and the 26, so I'm happy. I should really try the 39s and the 40s, I know. I think they're a shade better at longer ranges, maybe over 250 out to 350. But it's one of those things I just haven't had time for, and the 32s work so well, I haven't bothered to change over. So in a minute, we will start reloading. So before we start reloading, we need to calibrate the electronic powder measurer. So let's do that. Very, very simple task. First of all, we're going to say calibrate. We're going to press calibrate again. It's going to ask me for the 10 gram weight, which I'm going to put on top. I'm going to press calibrate again. It should say pass, or it'll say 50. So I go up to the 50 gram weight, I should say. Press calibrate again. Pass. So that's passed the calibration test. What I'll then do is put the little powder collector on top, and I'll put the wind stopper on top, and I'm going to zero. So we're calibrated and we're zeroed. Now I'm going to put in the amount of powder I want to go into each load, which is 29 grains. And then I'm going to press dispense. Here we go. Very accurate, this tool. It's one of the best things I've ever bought. Saves a lot of time. Right, so now we've got the 29 grains of powder in the collector. I'm going to go and test manually or quality control that amount of powder. I'm going to put that back in there, put that back on top, and that will automatically replenish that for me. So I'm not having to waste time doing that. The machine does it itself. And that is very accurate, perfect, it's on zero. So that's ready to put into a primed case. So here we have a primed case. We've just got another powder load done, and that'll sit there until I'm ready. Let's put that powder in the case. All good. Then we grab a projectile. Into the die. And there you have it. There's our first 204 loaded for the season. Here's a couple of other ones from last year. Measures up perfectly, so I'm happy. There's a couple of foxes there already. Look at that. So let's keep going. I guess I must also say too, this is probably quite boring for people that reload and have got their own setup. But I guess there's plenty of people out there that haven't got a great setup or don't reload, and they just buy factory loads. So if you're an experienced reloader, I do apologise. Maybe you can teach me a thing or two. But for the people that are not experienced or don't reload, I hope I'm helping you guys out. Bit of an assembly line going here. You can really punch through a lot of bullets with those electronic measurers really quickly. Another one done. So I've been checking quality controlling every one for the first nearly 10 rounds, I guess. So what I will do now is I'll finish this one off, and I've got no problem with the measure. It's pretty perfect actually. I can't do any better with the manual press if I was trying. So what I'll do now is finish this one off. And this one, I won't go near the press at all, the measure at all. I will now go directly into the case because I'm happy that that is measuring an accurate amount of powder. Off you go. Now if I was measuring that by hand, I reckon I'd probably have about 2 rounds out completed, and we finished number 10 within a couple of minutes. So we have 90 to go. Okay, well after about an hour's worth of work, we've got 100 204 rounds ready to go for the season. I hope I've helped some of you out with reloading. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.